Welcome, students, to Monk Meditation. The show...
Ah! What the hell happened? What happened?
Oh no.
That's... not good. Okay, that's working. It just like started the video over, or the audio over for no apparent reason. Okay, we'll try this again. Okay, everyone quiet, mute your mics if you're typing. And going in 5.
Welcome, students, to Monk Meditation. The show about monks in the world of Warcraft.
6.0 has finally arrived. We're going to discuss the changes, go over new mechanics, see how much we're getting buffed, and see what's coming up in the future. Coming up on Monk Meditation, episode 33.
Here's your host, Chai T.
Hello everybody, I'm Chai T from Airy Peak, US. We have a big show for you tonight because 6.0 is finally here! We've been waiting and waiting and waiting, and we finally got it, and help, I'm buried in the heirlooms and I can't get up. Help me out, guys.
It's true. He has 5.
You got yourself into this situation. Get yourself out of it.
Alright, starting off with
like
Dai...
a humble brag there.
Yeah, just a little bit. Daikatsu, how you doing, Ben?
Here's a sentence I never thought I'd get to utter. Now, give me a moment. It's a big moment for me. I have fully upgraded my best in slot heroic raid gear. Get it!
Yay!
Oh, that is a good accomplishment, sir. Now to work on your
Siege
mythic
is so
stuff.
easy.
Yep.
I thought we were on like normal mode or flex mode or whatever the hell it's. I mean, we killed Garrosh in 5 minutes and 15 seconds with 16 people. I know at least 2 of them have been there once before.
Right.
Siege of Lootramar is what they need to call it.
Indeed. All right, going up to Guanshu. How's it going, sir?
Oh man, it's going pretty good. Unfortunately, well, I guess fortunately it was a good show, but I watched so much Arrow yesterday. I think I watched 13 episodes. I started thinking I wanted to be a hunter for a little while, but then I remembered their DPS kind of sucks, so
Yeah.
I'm staying monk.
Monk Masterclass, sir. Monk Masterclass. All right. And joining us in place of Le Bleu, because he's apparently sleeping, I don't know, he's not here. Tiger Crane, how you doing?
Hello! I finally found a new guild to raid with. I am raiding with Extradition over on Cho'Gall. Like Taikatsu said, you can literally go into Mythic Siege right now with half your raid have never done heroic or mythic up until this point, and you can face roll it. There's nothing challenging about it anymore, and you know what? I'm okay with that. 13 months of this instance, I'm okay with a little, easy street for a while.
Face smash. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of just ridiculous. We went in there, and our fastest clear before the buff was about 3.5 hours on normal back then. And
With a relaxing break, we still beat that by 15 minutes.
Right. Yeah, we took a nice break. We had some people we'd bring in between fights and stuff like that, and yeah, it felt like LFR. I think in Galacris, like, we downed the ads and we're like, what's the timer? 35 seconds. Great. Anyone know a good joke? And then of course our warlock comes in with a bad joke, because that's kind of what he does.
Traumatizes us.
Uh-huh. So
Fate.
I have been so busy out of game that my time has been mainly focused on getting my UI and keybinds up to date since the patch dropped. So I'm really digging my new weak auras for the Mistweaver. Let me show those to you right now. Yeah. Those are pretty. Those are pretty. Crane stance. Yeah. Oh, I've been enjoying my my move to Mistweaver. I'm actually having a ton of fun with it. So I will be putting some screenshots and weak aura imports to Chi Burst sometime this week. And I really need to either code, because everyone's asking for this, and I haven't seen it yet, healing spheres. Being able to track those and figure out how many healing spheres are up. I need to just build the code, I guess, since no one else is doing it. So, need to maximize that detonate. Well, I think it's time to move into Storm, Earth, and Fire and see how WoW is now.
Storm. Earth.
And fire!
I probably should have done that before, because we already talked about that. How is WoW going for everybody else? Like, anything big going on?
I'm so glad you asked.
Yeah.
I actually, I re-upped my subscription. I did take a little break from the live servers. I was playing on the beta, and the Iron of Horde Invasion stuff was a lot of fun. It was kind of face rolly, obviously. I do have upgraded normal mode gear, guys. and but
Look,
actually I had a lot of
it's
fun.
not LFR. That still means it's raiding.
Right.
Yep. So
You have to talk to people and figure out a strategy. I did
1.5.
LFR Le Shen today. The tank said, "Yeah, we're just going to YOLO this," and charged.
oh, actually, I think I
And
lied.
it worked.
I think Blizzard made all my stuff heroic gear. Actually, now that I think about it, right? Because it
Welcome
was
to the club.
it was normal, so now it's heroic.
Right.
But it's not mythic. So I actually became heroic overnight, guys.
Yeah,
that was
me
great.
too. And what's funny is that I didn't have any of my Mistweaver gear upgraded at all when I went into 6.0, as I spent all my time in Windwalker stuff. And so overnight, I spent 2,900 charms and suddenly surpassed my Windwalker in gear level. So that was awesome.
Yeah, it's I'm also on Wednesday night. We're putting our raid teams together and running some raids that we haven't done in a little while. I thought I was going to do Mistweaver, and then Chai told me at the beginning of the episode that my gear is not going to switch. For some reason, I missed that. So I guess I'm going to be a Windwalker because I'm not going to be the whole time.
Yeah,
You're
that
really
was
not the only
confusing.
one. Everyone is like, "Why is it that when I switch, it doesn't turn over to?" It's because that's coming. That's 91. That's level 91, guys.
Mel, it's
Yeah.
not even 91. You can go out to the Blasted Lands and do those quests out there, and the gear that drops there will do switching. The Upper Blackrock Spire will also do switching. So it's just anything that's WAD itemized is going to do that. So
Yeah. So it was a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to kind of getting back in there, and from what I understand, we're going to face roll it.
right. Yeah, it was kind of just ridiculous going in there, and I've been hearing from all the Mythic Raiders as well that it's just a complete face roll. I had a coworker that
we
told
have
me,
we have a bigger team, right? We're growing up to 15. We figured that we'd take the next couple of weeks, get used to everybody, see what the new dynamic is. We're like, F it, bring alts next week. Who cares? It's a party.
right. it's
Loot
yeah.
party.
My whole point behind Friday was to try to get used to the new dynamic. Get used to your new rotations, and then after like the fourth boss, I'm like, you can't get used to anything here. So, all right, fine, just bring in everybody. You got a friend, bring him in. I don't care.
I have an idea for you guys.
Yeah.
How about everyone in your raid team puts on blindfolds and actually treat it like a piñata?
There you go.
No,
Well, hey, that's
I just got a new monitor, guys. You can't do that.
No, it'll be great. You can call it like the Piñata Challenge and like record it and then put it up on YouTube. People will love it.
You have to put a disclaimer up that says not responsible for any injuries
the
sustained
Wii
during
mode
this
all over again.
Right. All right. Well, I think it's time to get caught up in the crazy whirlwind of WoW news in
Dizzying haze.
and there is a lot of it. 6.0.2, in case you've been living under a rock and haven't opened your Battle.net launcher in a while, has dropped. It is here. So with it comes some very significant changes to every spec. It's really too much to really list here. Well, okay, every spec but Brewmaster. Sorry, Quad Shoe. So if you decide now to boost your monk, which I highly suggest, if you don't have a monk, welcome to the show, first of all. And second of all, boost a monk. When you do, you should start in the Blasted Lands now instead of you spawned in at the shrine
Time
before,
Asile.
right? Well, they started Time Asile and then they moved it. So now you'll start in the Blasted Lands and you'll complete a intro quest line. It gets you kind of geared up for WoD. You'll get some nice epic gear. I forget what the item level is for that. It's, I think,
560?
Yeah.
And they're
Somehow-
trinkets, which is even better.
Right.
560? Damn.
Yep, I need to go back and go do those, I guess. And also, that should bring you close to your 510 item level, which will let you then queue for Upper Blackrock Spire to earn some nice 550 blues, and have a little nostalgia if you've come back after a while. Blizzard has also updated their video starter guide today. You can find the link in our show notes. So if you're just getting started with Windwalker, they'll kind of guide you through what the abilities do and kind of how the class works. So go check those out. They did a really good job on this one. So, BlizzCon.
Or you can do it like all the pros do and just jump face first at a target dummy for 3 hours. You know, what the pros do.
Right.
I think I'll do that before I raid on Wednesday with my Windwalker. Be like, how's this going to work out?
Right. Yeah, so let's talk
Punch,
BlizzCon.
Kick. Got it.
Yep. So BlizzCon is coming up. We've got one more show right before BlizzCon. It's just over 2 weeks away. So
Yep. I'm
the
so
schedule, yeah, I am super excited. So Tiger Cane, are you going to be at BlizzCon?
I'm too poor.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
No. Oh well.
Next year.
Next
we'll have
year.
to get you out there.
Yes. If you are going to be at BlizzCon, there's going to be a whole bunch of us out there. We'll go over that kind of later. But I want to talk about the schedule. So not much WoW related. They didn't leave much posted
The bare
information.
Basics. The bare basic WoW panels are posted, and that's it.
Yeah, you have the music panel. You have the class Q&A, and the
Cinematics
Warcraft
and
movie and the cinematics, and that's it. So those conspiracy theorists who are out there saying, "Oh yeah, we'll see what the next expansion is before the first expansion launches," probably not going to happen. However,
Well,
I have to wonder if those panels were originally meant for Titan.
the gaps.
Yeah. If those
No.
are panels that might have been there, like one of them at least, to talk about Titan.
no. They canceled Titan way back earlier in the year.
Yeah,
I
but
guarantee
like
you. Those
I
guys
can
are.
tell you, just from scheduling really huge events, they've had their schedule in place for almost 6 months.
Right.
You have to plan that stuff out that far ahead.
Yeah,
So
it's
it's entirely
definitely
possible.
it's a possibility.
If those are gaps and they just stay as gaps, people are going to be stunned, and it's going to be the worst BlizzCon ever.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this. So the Warcraft panel, or the Warcraft area. No, it was the main stage. Main stage they're doing.
Main stage.
Yeah, main stage
Which
they're
is
doing
where they
the
always do their
opening
big
ceremony,
things.
right? And then usually that's kind of where right afterwards is kind of like the big Warcraft event. Like they announced Warlords
And
of Draenor
last year it was Warlords. Yeah.
Right. This year, nothing. There was nothing there for about 3 hours until the Warcraft cinematic, the trailer for the movie. We assume trailer, anyways. The movie panel.
Yeah.
Probably just like a 10-second teaser.
Right.
At
So
this
the
point.
movie panel is.
They'll bring on Duncan Jones and they'll say, "Hey, we're still working on it. Here's some
It'll be a
photos you saw
30
last year.
minute-
Good night, guys."
Right.
It'll be
know,
a 30-minute talk-up, then 10 seconds of trailer, and like, okay, guys, good night.
Hold on. I'm ready to share 2 more characters with you. We're going to have a knight, and we're going to have an orc with a club.
To be fair, it does say, Duncan Jones alongside Chris Metzen as the attendees and viewers at home, an exclusive presentation packed with surprises. That's at least 4 surprises. Packed means at least 4.
Right.
So
Just the fact that you've got Chris Metzen up there means that you're going to get about 3 shovels full of bullshit and maybe 1 of truth.
Well, those
wait.
are your surprises.
Hey!
Shovels of bullshit, 1 of truth, and 1 gaffe that is going to light up Twitter for the next 2 weeks.
Right. So, anyways, there's that big gap right before the movie panel, and so a lot of people are speculating there's going to be something special announced during that time. There's also another gap. Saturday on the main panel stage that's like a 90 minute to 2 hour gap, which is usually filled. So there's a little bit of speculation. And also, speaking of gaps, if you've taken a look at the BlizzCon map, timeout?
Yeah, it looks like the video died on Twitch.
Uh-oh.
Video cut out on Twitch.
Yeah, this was happening on another stream I was watching last night. It just randomly quit. No one knows why. Probably gonna have to you use OBS, right?
Yeah, I use OBS.
Just completely shut it down and reboot it.
Fantastic.
I had to just refresh. I said F5 my Twitch.
Here's the situation. A contaminated...
All right. They're saying it's back? Okay. All right. All right. Closing that.
You were
All
saying
right.
there were
Christ,
big,
fast.
big gaps.
Okay, we will start again and going to put a 5-second silence so I can figure this out where this is later. In yeah, and also speaking of big gaps, we see in the map there is a missing section below the room C, which is the Hearthstone and Heroes. I think that
I think
area.
it's just Hearthstone.
I think
Right,
Hearthstone
Heroes
and
isn't-
Heroes are combined. I think.
Are they?
Yeah.
No, they're separate.
Oh no,
right?
C is
Yeah,
the
they're separate.
okay. Well, one of the areas has a big old gap where
There's a giant
Heroes of
gap
the
on the
Storm was last time.
And it ain't just for traffic, because otherwise, dear God, they don't expect that many people, do they?
Right. So,
We need 400 feet of space right here.
right.
Yeah, and on top of that, I mean, you figure they move the StarCraft tournament stuff like so into that
Yeah,
separate
they have
area.
a whole new area for that now.
So that's so much more area that they have that they need to put something there, right?
So
Yeah, and Blizzard's not dumb. I mean, like there is an expectation with any con you go to that next year needs to be bigger, it needs to be better, it needs to have more stuff. So to Blizz have these really gigantic chunks of time where there's nothing happening in this whole room section of this giant complex just not being used.
yep. Daikatsu has a really good theory on this, and I'm like 100% sure this is what's gonna happen. So Duke, take it
It's
away.
Christmas in dressing room, isn't it?
Yes, that's exactly what it is. God.
Dance Studio.
No, it's Dance Studio. No, it isn't either. No, it's the Blizzard Archive. I don't know if that's what they're going to call it, but that's kind of what I'm calling it. And you're going to see updated versions of their older games: Warcraft, Warcraft 2, Warcraft 3, probably
Superman
Lost
Returns. Oh, yeah.
Vikings and other stuff like that, updated for modern computers. And what they're going to announce is that Warcraft 3 beta will be playable.
Yep.
Yeah, because that did show up. Like people did data mine that. Battle.net.
It's in the launcher.
It's in the launcher.
Yep.
So that's what I think you're going to see. You're going to see a giant 90-minute panel talking about all the games they're going to bring up and how hard it was to bring it up to code and everything else, even though somewhere around here I still have my Battle.net edition of Warcraft 2 somewhere. I don't know which box it's in.
And you know, that's actually makes a lot of sense considering that Warlords is kind of this walk down memory lane for Warcraft anyway.
It's the 10-year
So-
anniversary, 20-year
Yeah.
anniversary of
Warcraft.
Warcraft.
Yeah, so
It's essentially the 20-year anniversary of Blizzard.
Right.
Because before Warcraft, they weren't much of anything. They were, what was it, Sunsoft Studios or whatever it was that made that awful Superman game?
You know what I was thinking is the main reason I think there's something there, and I don't know what it's going to be, but if there wasn't something that was going to fit into that time slot, the Diablo 3 What's Next should have gotten pushed into that time slot, so you didn't have to pick between like Warcraft movie
Right.
and
Warcraft
and
movie
What's
or
Next.
Diablo. Yeah.
Yeah, because for me it's hard to decide because yes, I'd rather see Diablo 3 What's Next than Warcraft movie presentation, but I want to be in that
You guys had to
panel
pick?
stage for Heroes of the Storm.
You guys had to pick?
Yes, I'm gonna have to pick to be live. You know, everything else I can watch on.
We're gonna
I'm
have
at the
to pick
Warcraft
virtual.
I'm at the Warcraft movie panel. I don't care what you guys are smoking.
Yeah, but what if it's like the thing is? I feel like it could be like it was last year. You know, like we said, and just
If it's
be
a
big
giant
downer.
disappointment, I'm going to bring a bag of tomatoes with me. That's what crowds do, right? Tomatoes?
Do you think they'll let you into the NIM convention
that's a
center
lot
with a
of
bag of tomatoes?
nerd crowd. Isn't
It's
it?
lunch.
You're like,
Just
how
pack it
many?
in my bag. It's lunch.
60
Oh, God,
tomatoes is a
what
good
kind
lunch,
of-
right?
I
What
get
kind
sauce
of
all
lunch
over
do
me.
you have?
All right. Let's bring it back around to
I'm a
monks.
Monk panel.
Yes, monk panel. All right. So, what do you feel are the biggest changes in 6.0 from your playtime so far? I'm going to start with Brewmaster. So, Guanshu, take it away, sir.
In my playtime, I haven't used Clash, which is kind of new when it comes to the leveling and just messing around. But in terms of rating, I never used it anyways. But other than that, there hasn't been really any differences. I feel as though like I have a little bit of versatility on it because I would just a couple pieces of gear that ended up having it that I put on, and I like that because I felt like I call it leveling, but I wasn't actually leveling obviously, but I was going through the Iron Invasion, and I was able to stay alive better, so that I enjoyed. But other than that, there hasn't really been like any changes to Brewmasters, which kind of disappoints me. Like I know everyone like a lot of complaining that their classes changed between expansions, and that's something I love. I actually like the changes. Call me crazy, but
we're turning into scumbag rogues.
Yeah. Yeah, the Brewmasters are turning into scumbag rogues. That's true.
We want change. Why? You guys are perfect. We want change anyways. Fine, you're nerfed. Suck it.
I don't want to get nerfed. I didn't say I want to get nerfed. I said I just...
You want change. You didn't say what kind.
I want good change.
No takesies, backsies.
Damn it.
All right. Windwalkers, Tiger Crane. How are you feeling so far?
It takes some adjustment. It's much slower play style now, of course. Big gaps where we used to be like RSI inducing gameplay, but and what, that's kind of nice. It's kind of nice to be a little bit slower. You didn't realize how hectic and crazy your rotation was until you compare it to 5.4 to 6.0. But what has changed has been, for the most part, really great. The Fist of Fury change is amazing. It hits so hard. It's so good. It's so good. The numbers are so good. It's so nice. The only problem is that we don't have glyph of butterfly, so the floating butterfly glyph. So we're back at that 5.0 game of, is the tank going to move my target within the next 4 seconds or so?
Yes.
The answer is always yes.
It's always yes. Yeah.
So Duke, you've made the switch over to Windwalker yourself, haven't you, sir?
I have indeed. I am now a Windwalker with an off-spec of Brewmaster, which is fantastic. It's the first expansion I'm not going to be healing. And let me just say this. Storm, Earth, and Fire is literally the best thing ever, guys. Mm-hmm. It's like I'm sitting there, and I farmed the hell out of frogs this week. Dear God, did I kill... I must have wiped out at least a couple of good subgenuses of frogs. But I'm just standing in one place. I got a frog in front of me, and I go, I want to get that one. Spinning Crane Kick. Storm, Earth, and Fire, that one. Good. All right. Okay, I want to get that one too. Storm, Earth, and Fire. Okay, call them back to me. Taunt. All right. Frogs without moving. It's fantastic. It is both the most awesome and such lazy move because I don't have to go anywhere. It's great. And if you ever want to beat a warrior at the AoE game, Storm, Earth, and Fire will do it.
Yep. And
they get so sad.
Explosion. See, that's what I love.
I can't wait.
Love it, because you get to taunt all the warriors in your group saying, it gets worse.
Right.
They get so sad. It's like, oh, but Bladestorm. It's like, no, too bad.
You were doing better, and this is like your first raid ever actually doing Windwalker. Seriously.
I think when I leveled, let me see. I leveled up to 85 as a Brewmaster. I switched at 86 as Windwalker, switched to Mistweaver at 87, and kept Mistweaver.
Right. And so this is the first time, yeah. I put you in as Windwalker and G-Kun to just try to push extra DPS, and I sent you back to Mistweaver right afterwards because you do better.
Because my DPS is better as a healer.
Right. Yeah. So this is your first time doing Windwalker, and you still did better than the Hunters, and then they're also going to buff us.
Yeah.
So
yes, they're buffing our single target.
I was keeping pace with the Warlocks. I was very happy with myself.
So
we had that one Ret Paladin who was just like, haha, lol.
Yeah. So what I've been seeing from a lot of people is that Windwalker, these buffs are going to bring us in line for a single target, and then when it's a cleave fight. Yeah, just don't even bother trying.
Yeah.
Stand back, guys. I got this.
Right. So
That's who we are. Oh, this is a council fight? I thought I had to relax.
right. And as soon as
Now it's a fight where they don't reset health.
oh
Really?
yeah.
Yeah.
And so when
Share a health pool? Interesting.
That got to likey.
yep. And so when we get chi explosion, just say goodbye to the meters because it's just gonna be all green all the time.
And it's been nerfed so many times, and it is still so strong.
Mm-hmm.
It's
And they're
ridiculous.
buffing at 20% just because why not?
Why not?
Not that there's any live data on anyone using it for real.
Yep. So what I've seen from Mistweaver is the sole Mistweaver on the entire panel now. Okay.
Well, you get to be the sole expert.
Yeah, apparently. Expert. Yes. Expert. Okay. Addition of crane stance has been huge. This is a complete playstyle change, so it takes some getting used to. I like it a lot. Being able to set up your kind of weak auras to specify, it's like, okay, I'm in crane stance, so I need this UI. I'm in serpent stance, I need this UI. It's very nice. So surging mist, this is the kind of the biggest change I've seen. Hits like a freight train now. Like, one surging mist will take someone from 40% to full. Doesn't cost nearly as much mana and is required to gain chi and serpent stance, so you're going to be spamming surging mist all the time. The other big change, they made a bug fix. Actually, I'm trying to determine if it's a bug fix or a mechanic tweak, but they made Revival not split its healing. So it went from being the why do I bring a Mistweaver to raid to bring all the Mistweavers to raid. Because
It's double the strength of Tranquility.
yeah, I literally like, okay, half of our team is down to like 10%. Revival, hey, they're full again. Sweet. Yeah, a little powerful. Rushing Jade Wind, this is the kind of the change
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Revival needs a little nerfing.
Shut up. Shut up.
It needs- Dude, you heal so hard that people in Stormwind are suddenly like, whoa, I feel better.
It literally, I see on Malkarok.
The vendor standing outside Orgrimmar are like, man, I feel good. Let's go running.
Everyone's in that's props because the server's being healed.
Right. On Malkarok, that ended up being my number 2 heal. Was a Revival. But that's because we probably killed him in 10 seconds. I don't know how long the fight lasted, but it didn't last that long. But yeah, it was like my number 2 heal out of everything. I'm like, that's kind of sad. Rushing Jade Wind, this is one change I'm not happy about, I don't like, because that was part of my rotation in Cranes when I was fist weaving anyways, back in 5.4. I would just continuously rushing Jade Wind even in single target fights because I'm healing the people around me, but in Crane Stance it no longer does a heal, it just does eminence. So if you're not hitting 3 people, you're not gaining chi and you're not doing much healing. So I'm not keen on that, but Crane Stance seems to be performed perfectly well anyways.
As a note, like the only thing I dislike right now with the Windwalker changes is since Rising Sun Kick's kind of fallen out of grace and it's kind of become Tiger Palm 2.0, I really don't kind of like the idea of having to maintain 2 just passive buffs. That's a little bit annoying, especially when
it's a little
rotations
annoying.
might get a bit more involved. I mean, it's like Blizzard has kind of said in the past that they don't like that style of gameplay where it's just you hit a button to maintain a bunch of different buffs. You know, Tiger Palm was actually kind of a bit of an outlier with that, but now we have 2 of them.
Well, try being a Mistweaver, and I've got 3 of them now.
Yeah, technically it's 3 with a Windwalker because you might be the only person that's providing mortal wounds.
But you can have Rising Sun Kick up anyways, so...
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're going to maintain it because the Mortal Wounds debuff is the same
Yeah.
duration as just the Rising Sun Kick debuff. So
No, it's like half. It's a 10-second duration versus 18.
so that we must be So there's been other classes.
Yeah, you
that
almost
are
always Rising Sun Kick on cooldown anyways. So.
Yeah, that's just it. So you're going to do Rising Sun Kick a cooldown. You're going to do Tiger Palm every 20 seconds. The reason it's not a pain in the butt for me, and we'll go over this later, is because you can combo breaker your Tiger Palms.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, Tiger Palms up. Okay, hit it. All right, next GCD, move, and you're fine. And it's usually good enough to keep that debuff up.
Yeah. Yeah, see
And
with
I guess it's just a little disappointing that Rising Sun Kick fell so far from grace. Since I don't know if it's just a case of Fist of Fury is just that good now, or
No,
it's
it's
just
that
that
good.
it's got nerfed, or maybe both. But it's kind of sad that it's just become kind of a, you maintain it now.
yeah. So the thing about Mistweaver, though, if you're doing fist weaving, you take the maintain 2 buffs from Windwalker and make it a 3rd, because why not? So you have Crane Zeal, so you have to get a blackout kick every little while, then you have to get Tiger Power, and then you also have to do the Rising Sun Kick to keep that up, and so you're maintaining that, but you only get 1 Shi for every jab, and you're at a 1.5 second cooldown. So count your blessings. That's all I gotta say about that. And now it's time to keep your spirits up while the world changes around you in...
The sky is falling! The sky is falling!
Uplift. Don't worry, I'm sure it happens to other monks too.
So World of Warcraft is now back up to 7.4 million. That's an increase of 600,000 subscribers. Incidentally, I think that is the amount of hours, 600,000, that Daikatsu spent in Destiny last week.
Alternative joke. Incidentally, 600,000 subscribers was also the amount of subs in WildStar last month.
Oh, burn!
Ooh,
Oh!
that's low.
Oh, that stings.
Unsportsmanlike.
That's below the
Foul.
belt. All right, so hotfixes since Warlords have went live. We've already kind of touched on this a lot. All your abilities, a 20% increase, basically. Blackout Kick, Jab, Rising Sun Kick, Spinning Crane Kick, Tiger Palm, Fist of Fury, Chi Explosion, Rushing Jade Wind. And then Zhuen was buffed even further by about, what was that, a 27% increase.
Almost double from
Right.
what he did before. Instead of taking only 33% of your tech power, now he inherits 60. So Zhuen is almost twice as powerful now.
Yep.
Which is, thank goodness, because for a 2, for as long of a cooldown he kind of didn't have the punch that I really think he needed to do, so hopefully this will fix that. But, it's Christmas. I love it. And I'm
Yeah.
also a little like, okay, so when is the nerf going to come?
Yeah, I'm wondering how much of these are just the 6.0 changes that they're going to revert
Yeah.
when Warlords comes out, because they seem to have balanced a lot of this stuff around level 100. Because the level 100 things, the delta between all the classes seem to be a little less crazy, because Windwalkers are built around multi-strike, and there's plus 77 multi-strike out right now. That's about all you can get. So a little bit more for the Mythic, but still, you don't have enough multi-strike to make it worth it. So I wouldn't be surprised to see these reverted, but we're already doing ridiculous damage, and we're doing more, so fantastic. Expect these hotfixes to keep coming hot and heavy as time goes on until Warlords launches, and even after Warlords launches. So don't get too used to how much damage you do.
And the 20% buff is still not active.
Right.
The servers will
Yeah.
be restarted tomorrow. At that point, the buff will be active. So if you're not seeing it tonight, there's a reason.
Yep. All right, and so there was a question in the dojo about whether these the buffs to all those abilities will apply to Mistweavers as well, and these should apply across the board: Brewmaster, Windwalker, and Mistweaver for Blackout Kick, Jab, Rising Sun Kick, Spinning Crane Kick, Tiger Palm. Fist of
Now that's
Fury, of course, is only Windwalker.
the damage.
Right.
Only the damage portion is being
Yeah.
increased. The heals are not being increased for a spinning crane kick.
Right. Yeah, just the damage portion of it. So,
Yeah.
all right.
It's revival.
Yeah, and the revival buff also no longer splits among multiple party or raid members. So yes, revival is awesome now.
They labeled it a bug. This has to be the source of why the developers are going, but revival is so strong. Why does everyone disagree?
Right? Why does everyone hate revival? Why does everyone hate Mistweavers?
Like, what do you mean? Revival's pretty. We figured
You
it
put
out.
a
It's
star.
bug.
You put a
divide it.
divide. Oh.
Multiply. Done.
That quiet moment
Meanwhile,
of
the god-
uncomfortable silence for all the devs go, oh.
You hit revival, and suddenly the goblins we left on Kazan are like, "Oh, we should rebuild."
Wait, wasn't Gilneas a place somewhere?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gen Greymane goes, "I've been cured."
And Grayman goes, "Why am I sitting in Stormwind?"
Shai-T must be healing again. I feel great.
All right, students, it's now time to meditate and expand our knowledge in
Transcendence.
All right, today we are talking rotations. So helping you get the new rotation for your new spec, because it's all brand new. Brewmaster, pretty much the same as before, right?
Yeah, pretty much hasn't changed. I mean, you don't have to Tiger Palm anymore to buff your guard. So we were kind of, even though it's free to cast and, you don't have to do it anymore before you guard. I mean, that's pretty much the only thing that's changed in terms of our rotation.
The only caveat I will do to that, and I saw Duke do this on Immersius, Serpent or the Ox statue comes out after you initiate combat.
I'm used to putting it a little further back, and this time I put it back, and the Ox statue's like, "Come at me, bro!" And the fight started.
So, it's funny because I always put the Ox statue after we started because I was always nervous I was going to do something wrong. So, for me, it didn't change. But obviously,
you had a
bosses.
hunter moment, is what you're saying.
Right.
If it was the first, I would have been surprised. But you're also talking to the person who flying serpent kicked into Immersius one day because he hit the wrong button on his mouse.
Yep.
Oh, no. Anytime I've done Windwalker, I've done that.
Stop.
It's like, I should just not fight anymore. I should just not fight Immersius anymore because I keep doing stupid things.
Then I still
we talked about Zensphere.
Yeah, Zensphere. I have a sound clip from him going. He's running past the boss with Zensphere on, and boss pulls. And he's like, "What happened?" I'm like, "You are a host on a monk podcast, you idiot."
I thought it just healed. No, it damages also. When did it start doing that?
5.0.
Oh.
Beta.
Yeah.
2.5 years ago.
Tune in Friday for
Level
more
15.
stupid shit Daikatsu does at Immersius.
All right, well, let's go to Windwalker, because this has changed a little bit.
Yeah, your rotation really is not going to change very much from 5.4. You always start out with Jab and Tiger Palm to get your armor debuff going, and you only want to Tiger Palm, of course, when it's in danger of falling off, or you have the Combo Breaker Blackout and you don't have any energy to do anything else with, essentially. But you mostly want to keep the Combo Breaker on hold until you need to refresh it again. Mostly because, if I recall correctly, if it's still active, it'll mean that when the next Combo Breaker pops, it'll always be your Blackout Kick, and you want the Blackout Kick procs. Rising Sun Kick for the Mortal Wounds debuff, you do want to use it on cooldown, so you're still gonna, nothing's going to change there. Essentially, you're still gonna have your muscle memory for that. Tiger's Eye Brew is going to be coming at you fast and furious nowadays. Use it right before Fist of Fury. Try to keep a 10 stack on reserve for your trinket procs. That's where your big damage is always going to come from. And if you can line up your trinket procs, your Tiger's Eye Brew, and Fist of Fury, all the better. That's going to be big damage. Again, Fist of Fury is now your best friend. It is your nuke. It is your I'm going to destroy everybody on the damage meters. Remember, nowadays, it does not split damage with your main target when there's anything else around, so you have zero reason to not use it on cooldown. Use it, love it, thank Blizzard for it.
Mm-hmm. And that's why Assurance of Consequence is so powerful now as a best in slot trinket, because the more Fist of Fury you can cast or channel, the more DPS you're going to do. It's just that stupid.
And just having more energizing brew available too is nice. because I still find myself needing that more than I did in 5.4, definitely.
Yep. So let's talk about the priority rotation. So you want to keep Rising Sun Kick going at all times. Just keep that rolling. You want to keep Tiger Palm up at all times. Fist of Fury, you're going to do that on cooldown. Blackout Kick, when everything's on cooldown, Blackout Kick and have 2 chi. Jab when you're out of chi or you're about to cap energy. You really want to not cap energy because that means you're losing potential DPS. And it's with the change right now and how much regen, that's going to be a big difference in how well Windwalkers are playing. People that have been playing this spec for a long time are going to have to get used to that new timing. People who haven't been playing it are going to pick it up and go, oh, it's just like normal. No problem. Now, if you're wondering what trinkets to keep, Haroms is still king.
Yeah.
Assurance of Consequence has overtaken Ticking Ebon Detonator, so long as your tank is not a jerk and moves the boss away from you every time you Fist of Fury. Otherwise, yeah, you're gonna have Ticking Ebon Detonator on.
Which means that boys and girls just keep Ticking Ebon Detonator.
Some tanks aren't jerks. Some. I haven't found
Some.
Really? I guess
some.
Hey.
I was a tank for a while. I was a jerk. Ask Chai how many times I tried to kill him with Kovak.
Yes. Too many.
A couple of times I missed and got the healer.
Yep.
Poor healer. They didn't have a chance.
And we've been bringing a carry for the last couple months, and every time basically you've killed that guy because he has no idea what's going on. Everyone else is like, oh crap, Kovak, run away.
Here's where the tank's a jerk again.
Right.
So, as far as your gear goes. Sure. As far as your gear goes, crit is still High King Lord above all. After crit, you're looking at haste, mastery, in that order. Once we get to level 100, things are going to be a lot different. It really depends on whether it's an AoE or single target fight, and we'll cover that once Warlords launches in full gear. Now, keep in mind that all of the gear that had hit, expertise, dodge, and parry all have brand new stats. So your old best in slot list might not be your new best in slot list. So go over that gear, check to see if maybe something has a lot more crit and haste now, because that's really what you want to stack. Mastery, we have such a high base mastery for Tiger Eye Brew that stacking mastery is just going to mean you're wasting stacks of Tiger Eye Brew. So don't touch mastery. Touch haste, grab haste, grab that. Good night, folks. Crit. Grab crit.
Yes, grab crits. All right, let's talk Mistweaver because this is where the big changes are coming out. So now you have 2 different rotations, actually 3 different rotations, depending on whether you're doing AoE, single target, fist weaving, or healing. So let's talk crane stance first. So first and foremost, and I need to make a week worth for this because I forget all the time, get your statue. Place your statue down somewhere where it's going to heal within 20 yards. So put in the melee, put in the range, whoever needs to heal most. Generate chi. So this is jab, expel harm, spinning crank kick for AoE. Just get a chi, get Tiger Palm up as soon as possible to get your Tiger power rolling. Generate another 2 chi, put up Rising Sun Kick, generate another 2 chi, get Crane Zeal. By this time, you're tired because you've been jabbing for an hour. Maintain up time on all 3 of these buffs. So you need to make sure that you're doing that. So utilize your Chi Brew, utilize your Power Strikes, whichever one you're doing. I got to play with Power Strikes a little bit with Fist Weaving. It actually feels really good. So you're going to get more Chi over time with Power Strikes, but Chi Brew will give you more control. So pay attention to that. Watch your Vital Mists. Make sure to try to land exactly on 5 stacks. So this means if you're up to 4 stacks, don't do a Blackout Kick or Rising Sun Kick, because that's going to put you to 6 chi. You just wasted 1 that you could use for a Surging Mist. Because as I mentioned before, Surging Mist hits like a truck. So use Rising Sun Kick for strong single target heals. Use Blackout Kick for AoE heals. So if all of your buffs are up, you're spending your chi on situationally. Is there one person damaged or is everybody damaged? So let's talk Serpent Stance. So here again, place your statue. Single target rotation, channel Soothing Mist, cast Surging Mist to generate chi, spend 3 on Enveloping Mist if they're taking heavy damage. Use your Renewing Mist on cooldown, and Life Cocoon if heavy damage coming, or to triage imminent death, or just use Revival when everyone's full in all of the continents. Multi-target, Renewing Mist on cooldown. Make sure you keep those rolling. Generate chi with Soothing and Surging, and spend chi on Uplift. For stack fights, use your Detonate chi when there are lots of orbs around the group, and Rushing Jade Wind or Chi Torpedo if you tick that. Right now, mana is so not an issue at all, so feel free to just spam Rushing Jade Wind like crazy. This will change in Warlords, because mana is going to be a little bit harder to come by.
We hope.
Yeah. Well, we have Spirit on all of our gear, and we're designed not to have Spirit on any of our gear except for like 5 pieces. So...
I have 30,000 Spirit, guys. Wow, what'd they squish you to? No, that's the squish.
Right.
30,000 Spirit.
Yep. So for more in-depth information, I'm going to be including a number of community-written guides for great monks, such as Sunnier Bear, calligraphy, and more. You can check those out at monkmeditation.com as soon as we post these. So any other talk you guys want to do on rotation?
Not rotation exactly, but if you're looking to get a leg up on your DPS, older enchants, like for Windwalkers, Mongoose is now our best enchant.
No, that's getting nerfed though.
That's getting changed tomorrow.
Thank God. Oh, thank God. But but yeah, well, okay, there goes my talking point. Never mind.
Yeah.
So somebody woke up and said, "We did what?"
Right.
Yeah, no.
Some of the legendaries were best in slot for a little while. Like the Twin Blades of Azeroth and Shadowmoor. Those were like best in slot. So, lol.
Finally, a reason to go get a legendary.
Right.
The rogues are breaking out Fangs of the Father again, from what I heard.
Yeah.
You know, it's one thing I kind of want to point out
Cats
with
and dogs living together.
with brewmasters is, you know, we might not have changed a lot for rotation or spell changes, but I think what we're going to have a lot of fun is kind of messing around with the stats once Warlords is like officially out and just testing things and trying out different stat builds. I think that's where we're going to get our fun in terms of the changes. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking really forward to that, kind of those discussions.
Yeah, once Warlords has dropped, we're going to take some time and actually go through and go over kind of full spec guides. So that should be fun. So, all right, guys, I think it's time to put the brew away finally. But first, let's tell everybody, please go rate us on iTunes, Stitcher, subscribe on YouTube, or on twitch.tv. Really helps our numbers out, helps us get more listeners, so get out there and vote us up. All right, so I want everyone to come join Guanshu, Daikatsu, and me at World of Podcasts event at the Hilton on Thursday, November 6th at 6:30 p.m. You can participate in the fireside chat to get your Hearthstone card back and see podcasting personalities from various shows, listen to all three of us in various panels, talking predictions, talking podcasting, talking rating. So we want to see you. All right, Guanshu, got anything you want to shout out?
I want to shout out to Inconceivable, my guild. We're kind of getting back and rolling. It's a very exciting time. People are starting to come back, so I'm very excited.
600,000 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, 600,000 of them. We're a huge guild of 600,000 pounds of people. There we go.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Hey, I'm a good chunk of that. But
hey, how's your podcast going? Your new one?
The new one, Charred Hearts, is going really well. We just got picked up to a network that we're going to be a part of. We're at d20crit.com, which actually works with Catalyst Gaming Media as well in terms of a bit in geek and nerdery and world of podcasts. So we're going to be on there pretty soon. But it's going good. We have 2 episodes done. We didn't record this past week, but next week we have a exciting show. We record Saturdays at 10 Eastern time at twitch.tv/charred hearts.
All right.
Tune in to see me probably turn beet red. I'll leave it at that.
All right, Daikatsu.
Well, like Chai mentioned earlier, BlizzCon is only one more show away, and Chai, Guanshu, and I will be roaming the show floor on Friday and probably Saturday as well. So if you see us, say hi. We want to hear from monks. We want to talk to you guys. We want to get a feeling for what you think is going on and how excited you are for monks and warlords. So please, this is an open invitation. Stop us and chat. We want it.
Yep, I will be wearing a Monk Meditation shirt. I'm going to try to get one for both Guanshu and Duke as well. So look for our logo. All right, Tiger Crane.
A lot of fabric.
I know, I'm like 4X.
Oh, boy. Please donate to us, please.
Just for the Guanshu Fabric Foundation.
Right, I'll start a Kickstarter later.
No, I need to go to BlizzCon though.
Right, I think this other one's more expensive though. So.
Yeah.
He bought silk, the bastard.
Yeah. All right, Tiger Crane, what do you want to shout out?
Looks screened. Shout out to my new guild Extradition on Cho'Gall. They're a really great bunch of people, and I look forward to raiding with them. If you want to get in touch with me or talk with me, I am Ash Viridian on Twitter. I love to talk about monks. Yeah, that's all I gotta say.
All right, as part of the Monk community, if you have a blog, website, or person you want to see in the show, reach out to us via email at show@monkmeditation.com. The Monk community is the best one in the world of Warcraft. We want to showcase it. Duke, how can the dojo best reach us?
Oh, you can follow the show at monk_meditation. Follow Chai Tea at WowMonk. Air can be found at Airwalker. I can be found at Daikatsu CTR, no underscore. Guanshu is at Geek of Random. LeBlue is at Kagarai _LeBlue. And today's special guest, Tiger Crane, is at Ash Viridian.
All right, I want to thank everybody for listening. You can watch us live Monday, November 3rd, pre-BlizzCon at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, midnight UTC. Catch us live at twitch.tv/WowMonk. You can also visit monkmeditation.com for links to all the ways to watch and listen to the show. Monk Meditation is part of Catalyst Gaming Media. For other great gaming blogs, podcasts, and events, such as World of Podcasts, visit catalystgamingmedia.com. That wraps up this episode of Monk Meditation.
May your bruise be strong and your heart stronger.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.